was a time that the gods made a huge mistake, always keeping watch from inside his palace. Only the very luckiest of people knew who he was, or even knew he existed. But then, some of those lucky few made the worst decision possible, ruling over others as if they were Zeno himself. They ignored the highest ruler's power. But without warning, they were about to be reminded of the mistakes all gods must never make beyond the Omni King. So what does this mistake have to do with what I noticed in the Dragon Ball Super English dub, episode 64? With only this scene. One of the biggest mistakes all gods must never make beyond the Omni King just met its match. What is this huge mess up? Even though Goku Black is one of our favorite Dragon Ball villains, I've been hearing many people complaining. With the English dub reaching the climax of the Goku Black arc, these AniFam members are having to relive the memories of what made them end up actually hating this arc. Like clicking the notification bell connects you to winning the AniFam's $1,000 giveaway found in the description and pinned comment. These memories connect to a single item first seen in Goku's special meeting. After being called to the Omni King's palace, Goku had officially become friends with Zeno, but something was off. The real problem with the childish Zeno's life was something Goku realized in this scene here.
If this is your idea of fun, it must be boring here. You should come to Earth sometime. There's lots of cool stuff.
Hooray, let's do it!
With this invitation for Zeno to come visit him, Goku was given a gift that was more mysterious than any of us could have thought at the time. This tiny present would eventually bring to Goku both something beyond amazing that has backfired on the AniFam's view of the Dragon Ball Super dub's current arc, but also it would bring to Goku something terrible as he tested the limit of Beerus's anger. Almost getting himself Hakkai'd, Goku risked going against the God of Destruction's orders just for the sake of having some fun. But wouldn't you know it? In a moment that instantly turned so much tension into a laugh, Goku got away with being reckless yet again. By pressing the tiny present the Omni King had given him, Goku walked himself down a saddening path that led to the reaction of this clip. What started as a friendly reminder to the Zenos about a past promise, and what seemed at first to be exactly what Goku had asked for, turned into something he wasn't quite expecting. Taking this into consideration, you'd think this button represents evil, but the Goku Black arc first showed us the complete opposite side of this little present. Even though what you're about to see saved Goku's life, as well as the lives of his friends, it's also the very complaint I hear most about the mistake the gods made beyond the Omni King during the Goku Black arc. How did this one scene ruin the entire arc for many in the AniFam? And how did this moment from Dragon Ball Super episode 64 go against it? Look at this scene again.
Whoa, what is that?
This is a button. If you push it, then I will appear.
This moment happened in Dragon Ball Super episode 55, a full 17 episodes before the Omni King erased Zamasu. So for a lot of fans, there wasn't much point in watching the rest of the arc. Zamasu was immortal. There were only 2 ways to defeat this, one of which turned out to be a huge waste of time. After getting badly defeated, Future Trunks stood alone against the 2-in-1 God as he made an unbearable request. As hard as leaving Future Trunks behind was, no one could deny that it really was their only chance to survive. After returning to the present timeline, and after quite some time of running through ideas on what could possibly take on immortality.
There's one way to win.
What, Piccolo? Let's hear it.
Containment.
Piccolo remembered the very way his father, King Piccolo, had been defeated. With future Trunks' fight against Goku Black and Zamasu still happening at that very moment, this seemed like their only hope. So Goku agreed. He would go to Master Roshi's to learn how to do the evil containment wave, described as a very dangerous technique to perform. Goku had to spend all day teaching himself to do it before he was finally successful. But the light Goku was now seeing would darken after they returned to the future. As Zamasu rushed his way towards the helpless future Mai, Goku was left to deal with very mysterious and troublesome duplicates. With Goku the only one there who knew how to perform the Mafuba technique, his friends should have been in a state of panic, but Bulma wasn't upset at all. Even though Goku had his hands full, they still had future Trunks, and thankfully, Bulma had prepared herself well.
Oh, right, I've got a video. Here, kids, watch this.
With a new plan in place, Bulma gave her future son a 4 to 5 minute window to master something that had taken Goku an entire day. But after finding his mother unconscious, future Trunks had all the motivation he needed to do the impossible. So how can I say this way of defeating the immortal Zamasu was a flop?
You guys forgot the most important part of the whole technique.
Oh, we got a problem!
Why do I even try?
Of course Goku would mess up something this important. So with option 1 of 2 out of the picture, for a lot of people, the rest of this arc seemed pretty obvious. And for those who had totally forgotten about Goku even having that button with him, they still ended up feeling like the whole arc had been totally pointless because of the mistake a god had just made beyond the Omni King in this scene here. So many of us were left in a state of total confused disbelief, left wondering why Goku didn't just press the button as soon as it was perfectly clear that Zamasu was really invincible and be done with it. Although this was definitely one of Dragon Ball Super's biggest mistakes ever made, thankfully, there's one very important detail about Goku Black that goes against every negative feeling that tiny button brought to you. When the Dragon Ball Super English dub released episode 64, we were reminded of exactly what that important detail is. One of the most interesting ideas for a villain the Dragon Ball franchise has ever had. Goku Black was instantly a favorite. However, you can't say an evil Goku was an original idea. Do you remember what happened in Dragon Ball Z? While on planet Namek, no one could believe the strange way Goku was acting. Maybe his true Saiyan nature had returned to him. Thankfully, his friends didn't have to wait too long before they found out what was really going on. Ginyu, one of Frieza's warriors, had actually switched bodies with Goku. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Even though an evil Goku is something we had already seen before, Dragon Ball Super did it totally different as well as made major improvements to the whole idea. One of the biggest upgrades being found in Whis' original thoughts on who Goku Black really was. They had just learned that Zamasu had been to see Zuno, the being who knows all, asking about something Goku and his friends found very disturbing.
What I want is for you to tell me about the Super Dragon Balls. Tell me everything that you know.
But that wasn't the only question that was bothersome. Zamasu had also been asking about Goku. With no one else seeming to understand the connection between Goku and the Super Dragon Balls, Whis offered his suggestion. After defeating Zamasu in what seemed like a friendly match, Whis believed that Zamasu had gotten unreasonably angry at Goku. He went to Zuno to find where the Super Dragon Balls were, as well as how they worked, and then made a copy of Goku with his wish. After weeks of not being able to figure out the answer for ourselves, the situation turned out to be a lot worse than we had realized. Finding out that Goku Black was not merely a copy, but Goku's actual body, proved something super important about this arc itself. Although clearly an idea taken from many years ago, Goku Black and Zamasu's backstory being added to this whole evil Goku idea was one of the biggest improvements they could have possibly made. But on top of a story that kept us guessing, Dragon Ball Super Episode 64 showed us the huge improvement they made on the actual villain himself. Goku Black wasn't just Goku with some evil person in there. He had taken Goku's powers and morphed it into something completely his own. It's a form that many of us wish had found its way into more of the anime than just for that one character. But one of the details that stood out even more than his pretty pink color was an ability we don't even see Goku using. An ability that Goku Black finally understood in this episode 64. How to make even more powerful. We all remember like it was yesterday what changed Goku forever. It was an emotion that's been deeply rooted into the powers of a Saiyan ever since. But even as much hatred as Zamasu had towards mortals and the way the other gods treated them, he still had yet to figure out the true usefulness of anger. Until he picked up on something from Vegeta in this scene.
It's anger, isn't it? Watching us hurt your son made you angry, which made you stronger.
As horrifying as his power already was, Goku Black had just unlocked a major key. And this key unlocked a power that wasn't only just super awesome to look at, and something abnormally creepy for the Dragon Ball franchise, but the English dub's reminder to us of Goku Black's new weapon, a sight, was so chilling and fit his character so well that it takes every disappointment you got from the gods' mistake they never should have made and turns it upside down. Which forces me to question you, Anifam. If you can see one of Dragon Ball Super's biggest flaws in a different light, then I wonder if you can see how Goku never surpassed Vegeta.